What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about which character will be the most fun to play as in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, like all these videos, right? Because I've been, I think, the only one on YouTube, and I'm proud of that. And by the way, I'm very grateful for all of you guys that watch these videos. I really, really do appreciate it. I know this is a game that's literally it could be 2 years away from releasing, and here I am doing weekly videos on it, but you guys are supporting it. You guys are watching it. I truly am grateful. Like all of these, it's difficult to talk about, right? Because we don't know all that much about it. To be quite honest with you, it's even a situation where because they showed off it so early in the trailer, right? Because they showed it so early, that by the time we see it, it could very well be different. I mean, there are numerous examples of games that have changed. I mean, it could be drastic. It could be actually small things, but games change from when they are first shown to when they release, okay? And especially, a cinematic, right, like a CG kind of trailer like we get for Suicide Squad to the time the game actually comes out could be wildly different. Honestly, actually, in fact, with this game, it could be actually much better because it made from the ground up, hopefully, for next-gen consoles, could look really and could run and could just feel really, really good. So again, I mean, keeping in mind, a lot of things can change. Keeping in mind, we see things, but, again, we don't know all that much about how the gameplay is going to work. But look, to be quite honest with you guys, when I make these videos, at least when I have like the Suicide Squad trailer part in it, I don't really watch it all that much. I haven't really watched this trailer since like the first week that it came out. And so I wanted to watch it on my own, like separately before I record this video, just to see some things in it. And I'll tell you, when I'm looking for something, when I was looking for, okay, which character, like how do the characters act? They do look pretty cool, and they do show some pretty amazing things with all the characters. So, again, granted, we don't know how the game is going to play when it releases, and it could be a broken mess. It could play, say, like Avenger, which, by the way, though, Avengers, the characters are very, very different and actually are pretty, they're unique. They have some really cool moves, and they are actually kind of fun to play. I would say the characters are not the main issue with the Avengers game. So even if it is like that, I guess the characters should be okay. We got to see some pretty cool gameplay stuff in this trailer, some stuff that you can definitely, I think, tell not was ripped straight from gameplay of this game, but is probably what they have in mind when it comes to the game. I want to say Harley, but to be quite honest with you, I feel like that's a different question altogether. And who would I play? Who would my main character be? Who am I most excited for? Which, by the way, are different videos altogether, and I could totally talk about those in future. Because to be honest with you, I sometimes run out of topics for these, and I have to go deep into the well of my brain to find something. But I could definitely do that. In terms of who the most fun to play as will be, I'll tell you guys actually straight up pretty early in this video, I actually feel like Captain Boomerang looks the most fun. And we'll talk about it. So let's go through all four characters. I think Captain Boomerang looks the most exciting to play right now, looks the most fun. Again, is he the one who I would try to main or play the most often? No, again, I actually feel like that's going to be Harley. But we see for Harley, it looks very like physical combat, right? Like using her bat. At the same time, later on, she's using a grappling hook, and she's actually using a grappling hook quite often in that section of gameplay that we get to see. And she's also shooting like long range. So I feel like Harley is gonna be I don't know. Would you compare her maybe to even a Black Widow in Avengers? Again, I don't want to get too compared because Rocksteady has said that this game is going to be in that realm, but completely their own take and trying to do some things completely brand new. Which again, I do respect. I will give them the benefit of the doubt, or I will give them my hype, and not really going to judge them all that hard until we actually see it. And then once we see it, if I'm disappointed, you gotta obviously speak out. But Harley looks to me like a Black Widow. Not an impersonator, but like her version of Black Widow. She'll use the bat. She'll have some physical, hand-to-hand kind of attacks, but then she could also be used for like range combat, right? King Shark definitely looks like more of the tank class. You see him with like the minigun, like taking enemies out. You see him doing the catapult kind of like jumping. I don't even know what to call it. But, when he like slams on the ground and hits enemies. So I feel like is going to be one that you're going to want to rush in to battle with and attack. And by the way, so I guess we'll talk about the excitement for those two characters at the end. But obviously, I think they're all, I hope they're all going to be pretty darn fun to be able to play as. But, that's those two. Deadshot, to be quite honest with you, he seems more like a support class where we see him kind of hovering. We see him using, like, fire. I feel like ranged, and that makes sense, by the way, for Deadshot, right? All range. So I wouldn't say like a recon kind of class. Again, I feel like a support in a way where he's going to be able to use a lot of different abilities to affect people. Maybe if they get too close to him, he'll be able to push them back. He'll be able to use the guns, long range, stuff like that. And then Captain Boomerang, maybe like a mix of all of them. Somebody that's able to get into the action, but also somebody who's able to get out of the action. And yeah, you do probably want that, by the way, for all of these characters, because when you're playing the game and when you're in the midst of the battle, right, you're going to want to be able to have attack moves or like just things you're going to be able to do. You're going to want to be able to do that when you're close and when you're far away. And again, I think they actually showed that with all of them. Captain Boomerang can use his gun and can also use his actual boomerang. Harley can use the bat close, but they can also shoot far. Deadshot, now again, Deadshot we didn't really see close, except for, I guess, the fire, like the move, so maybe that's like a close range attack. King Shark, again, able to just, I guess, actually do, I assume he'll be able to literally do everything. He'll probably have physical attacks, too, that maybe we didn't even get to see. So I think they're all going to be generally balanced in that way. Honestly, to be quite honest with you, Harley seems like the least potential-filled character. Like, for all the other ones, you could see, I think, like a lot of different avenues they could go down and where you could really develop them. Harley, I feel like maybe she could be the best character in terms of story, in terms of maybe acting, in terms of who we care about the most. But in terms of how she plays, I feel like she's almost, again, this is all 2 years before the fact. They could prove me wrong. Harley could easily, in the first time they show this game, be the best character. But right now, it seems like Harley kind of has the least potential in terms of what she can do with her attacks. Okay? So I can't. I will say that she would be the one I would main. She'd be the one I would play first, just like in Gotham Knight. I don't know what's with me and female characters, even though I love all of them. I love males, I love female characters. But for Gotham Knights, Batgirl, I think, is the one that stands out the most to me. Again, that, though, I think has the gameplay aspect to it. Harley in Suicide Squad, she's definitely the one I will play, but that's mainly because of her characters, because I like her character. I even like Margot Robbie's portrayal of her character. So she's someone who I'd want to play as, but not necessarily for how she would actually play. You know what I mean? I feel like Captain Boomerang, though, in terms of what we saw, seems like he has the opposite side, has the most potential. He seemingly can like phase in and out of things, like he's got some sort of super speed or like teleportation kind of ability. But I feel like using the boomerang would be a really cool thing to do, and he feel like using the boomerang and then also shooting enemies kind of almost at the same time. I feel like he's going to be a character that's very, very fast. You know what I mean? Like you're always going to be moving, you're always going to be doing damage. Maybe you're not going to be doing in fact, I would imagine he would maybe even do like the least amount of damage, let's say. Again, it depends on if the game is even like that, because in like Avengers, they all do similar damages based off of the different skills they have, based off of their different abilities. They all do this. It's not like Hulk can like one hit somebody, whereas now again, Black Widow overall, I feel like she does generally feel weaker than the other characters, but I mean, they're all generally in the same area. I don't know if it'll be that way for this game, but if it was, I feel like Captain Boomerang would be one of the weaker characters, but I feel like he would be and honestly, you have to kind of do that. If the game is set up like that, where, say, him and Harley, let's just throw out those examples, are, like, weaker than the other two, you have to make them more fun to play as. So maybe they're faster, maybe they can hit more enemies at one time than the other two, but they do less damage. Maybe they can affect the game in other ways, right? Again, maybe there's abilities they can do that can buff people up or whatever. Because, again, remember, we're going to be playing this game, whether we want to or not, we're going to be playing this game with other people, whether it be online people, or remember, if you don't have online people, bots will control the AI. So no matter what, you will have these four people with you at all times. So with that being said, they have to work together, and there'll be abilities and skills and all that kind of stuff, whatever avenue they choose, there'll be those things that help each other out or buff you or can heal you or, again, can like increase range or increase power. I mean, obviously they'll have things that can help each other out. Again, very, very difficult to talk about so early on, but what I will say is I haven't watched that gameplay-ish section of the trailer in quite a while, and watching it, they're pretty exciting. Like, I am definitely excited for that to happen. I'm excited to get to see it in action. I think it looks really fun. It looks really fun. If it's like, if they can make the game what they showed in the trailer, which, by the way, oftentimes they can't, but if they actually could pull it off, I think that would be a really, really amazing thing. And again, obviously, I'm not going to judge it all that harshly until we actually see the game, which is honestly not going to be for quite a while. So, guys, let me know in the comments below, who do you think is going to be the most fun to play as? Again, I would say Captain Boomerang, while Harley would be my main. We could talk about that, who could be your main character. We could do that in future videos as we go on. Make sure, if you guys have any suggestions for me, anything you want me to make regarding Suicide Squad, definitely let me know in the comments below. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. All the social media stuff is in the description below, and I will see you guys on the next one.